What is up, my space birds? Welcome back to another analysis video. I have a question for all my fellow queers out there. Have you ever looked at a movie or a story and thought, wow, this is great? It would be a whole lot better though if it was gay. If you're watching this channel, you probably have. I know I have. But you know who else has? Accomplished actor and Hollywood star Val Kilmer when being presented with the script for the movie Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. That's right! Not only did he insist on his character being gay, he also performed it in an incredibly respectful, relatable, and prideful way. In a Robert Downey Jr. movie, no less. Don't believe me? Keep watching. Now, you're probably wondering, airlocks and aviaries, why and how did you suddenly become obsessed with some random detective movie that came out while you were still in preschool? Well, it's actually a funny story, and it all started with Top Gun. As we all know, I firmly believe that Top Gun is the furthest thing from straight, and I was scouring the internet trying to find other, opinions and possibly some proof. That's when I found the article. It was exactly what I was looking for. Val Kilmer, the actor who played Iceman, confirmed that his character was gay. Specifically, he said this: "Some people have observed that maybe this wasn't my first gay role. Maybe that was Top Gun." And my first thought was, holy shitballs, I fucking knew Iceman was gay. Thank you so much, Val. My second thought, however, was, hold on, first gay role? That's when I discovered Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And let me tell you, I lost my entire mind when I realized that Iron Man was in it. So I read the rest of the article and found out about the making of the movie before I watched it. And I found out about this exchange. A week after the party, Kilmer received the script for Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Downey was already cast. Before I'd even finished it, I called up and said, love to be in it. A gay detective might seem a curious role for one of Hollywood's fully fledged heartthrobs. He wasn't gay when I read it, Kilmer says dryly. I insisted. I said, Shane, we gotta get a little color in here. We gotta juice it up a little. I think I should be gay. I think I should kiss Robert Downey in the middle of the film. Maybe even earlier. Several times. I thought it was so cool that he had decided to make his character gay. But I had some serious doubts about how good and, more importantly, how respectful it would be. This movie was created in 2004, after all, a whole year before Brokeback Mountain. Queer people weren't exactly respected in the media, or in real life for that matter. I assumed that a straight Hollywood actor would play this gay character as some kind of campy stereotype, or as an offensive caricature, to be the butt of the jokes and not have any real human traits. But boy was I wrong! This character, Gay Perry, and his story were both played and written extremely respectfully, in my opinion. The character was a human person whose entire personality wasn't a gay stereotype, but who also acknowledged that being gay was something he was proud of and was an important part of his identity. He spent the movie sticking it to the homophobes and not having his queerness be a joke, but something powerful and important. He was never the butt of any of the jokes. Instead, it was the intolerant bigots around him. I can point out 8 specific ways Val and Shane did this, and I'm gonna take you through them in this video. Number 1, his introduction. So the first we see of this absolute legend of a character is Perry dealing with straight nonsense from his straight friend at the party. And RDJ is doing his little narrator thing and describing him and such. It's fun.
The man with him is Perry Van Shrike, aka Gay Perry. Honest to God private eye consultant, film, TV, just incorporated. He's big time. Also, he's gay.
Don't start, Perry. Seen you play ball, I know you're tough. It's just that you see a naked guy and your brain says, I want that. So I don't make that leap.
What's a cool detail here is that because Val made his character queer after the script was written, it has absolutely nothing to do with the plot in any stupid, disrespectful way. Like, what was that other detective movie? Ah, yes, Ace Ventura. There was a queer character in the first movie, the trans woman, but she was a villain, and her being trans was the main part of her evil plot that advanced the story, and she was depicted as predatory and disgusting. Meanwhile, with Perry, his being gay isn't a plot point, it's just a part of his character, and something that makes the story even more meaningful. But more on that later. Another thing I should mention that restored my faith in humanity is the fact that Val didn't use an offensive voice. Now, I know that should be the bare minimum for an actor, but you'd be surprised at the male actors I've talked to who think that in order to play a gay character, they have to change their voices to be more effeminate. It's not good. But Val doesn't do that for Perry. Instead, he just plays this character just as he would any other, except with a little more slay. And I think that's perfect. The rest of Perry's introduction is absolutely flawless, with him being depicted as the put-together, cool, suave detective who is sassy and intelligent in the face of RDJ's character's absolute buffoonery.
I got 2 quarters, sing harmony on Moonlight in Vermont.
What?
Talking money.
A talking monkey?
Talking monkey, yeah.
He's just really compelling to watch, and what's also important is he's set up as a relatable hero character, and not just some throwaway side character. He's important to the story, a cool character to look up to, and he's queer. Just all around amazing. Something else I wanted to point out about this introduction is that it sets up his queerness as a relation to all the other characters that's maintained throughout the movie. Obviously, there's homophobia and people not understanding what it means to be who he is, but what's really important is that Perry being gay is never the butt of any of these jokes. His queerness is uplifted. Who is being made fun of, however, is actually the people making the stupid comments. He always has a sassy comeback and shows that their comments and microaggressions are ridiculous.
Still gay?
Me? No. I'm meat-eating pussy. I just like the name so much, I can't get rid of it.
It's shown really well here in his introduction, but it's also maintained throughout the rest of the movie, which is just great. Number 2, the kiss. Of course I was going to talk about the kiss between RDJ and Val Kilmer. How could I not? But there is a very specific detail in this scene that takes it from mediocre queer rep to fan-fucking-tastic queer rep. And it happens in about a split second. Let me just show you.
Kiss me.
What? Kiss me. No.
Check out Doris and Lucinda over here.
These lessons suck.
Okay, now if you noticed, although Perry is rather enthusiastic about this kiss, he only kisses Harry for as long as he needs to in order to throw the cops off their trail. As soon as the cops leave, he releases Harry with no fuss. Now, why is this important? Well, a very harmful stereotype about all queer people in general is that we're predatory, lecherous individuals who force ourselves and our lifestyles onto innocent straight people. Being in the homophobic 2000s, I fully expected this movie to depict Perry as one of these stereotypes, eager to force himself on Harry and use the police as an excuse to kiss him. But once again, his queerness is not treated as the butt of the joke. He's the suave and the cool one, of course. He's using his gay as a weapon against the homophobic cops so that they'd never suspect them. It worked, and it was awesome, and he slayed. And instead, Harry looks like the stumbling fool, as per usual. It's just perfect. Also, Harry kind of consensually kisses him later, which is an interesting detail, but we'll get there. Number 3, reclaiming a slur. Okay, if you aren't okay with hearing the F slur, you're welcome to skip to this timestamp that I'm about to put in here, because I'm about to say that word like 2 million times. You gone? Okay, let's go. So, first of all, I need to address something. There are some people in the queer community who believe that the word faggot will always be a slur and can never be reclaimed. I'm going to audibly disagree with that because I want to remind everyone that queer was also used as a slur. Gay was used as a slur. Dyke, lesbo, tranny, all of these words were leveraged against people like us. But we have the ability to take that power back and use these words to describe ourselves with pride. Now, I fully understand and respect that there are people in our community who are uncomfortable with these words and choose not to use them to describe themselves. And that's perfectly okay. But there are also queer people, old and young, who like using these words because it makes us feel powerful, and that needs to be respected too. Okay, with that out of the way, yes, it's okay that Val Kilmer said faggot because his character is gay, and like I've been trying to prove here, he plays him in a very respectful way. And his use of the word faggot isn't derogatory either. It's powerful. He makes what seems like a throwaway, self-deprecating joke in the beginning about what he calls his gun.
I call it my faggot gun.
Because?
Because it's only good for a couple shots and you gotta drop it for something better.
You asked, Chief?
Yeah.
But we find out the real reason he calls it his faggot gun later in the movie. I'll talk about that in that specific section, but spoiler, it's because he uses it to shoot homophobes. The only other time he says fag is when he's interrogating a henchman and describing himself in an intimidating and fucking powerful, badass way. And I think that's just beautiful. Here, just watch.
Fuck you, Mary. You don't get it, do you? This isn't good cop, bad cop. This is fag and New Yorker. You're in a lot of trouble.
Anyway, in conclusion to this section, Val Kilmer was allowed to say faggot in this movie because he does it in a powerful way that reclaims the slur. But also because he's Val fucking Kilmer and he just serves absolute cunt. I don't know what to tell you. Number 4, the sunglasses scene. Whoo, this is a good one. Okay, buckle up, folks. On top of this just being a wonderful scene in general with killer writing and 2 actors that are just so skilled, it's making me tear my hair out in fits of jealousy. It's got such a good push and pull between these 2 characters, and it displays their dynamic in a serious way for the first time in the movie, in between the hilarity. And it also shows a little bit of how one character is starting to care a little bit too much for the other. But I'm saving that for last. Anyway, the sunglasses. So Perry admits he flat out lied to Harry and says he kind of deserves to get slapped, which he does.
You were just being used. Shave a couple million off of Colin Farrell's price tag. I mean, I understand if you want to take a swing at me. Fuck!
But then, in his anger, Harry crosses a very distinct line. After getting one swing in, he calls him a sissy bitch, which in this instance is incredibly derogatory. And that's a line that no one crosses with Perry. He's had to learn to deal with this, but what does he do? He doesn't hit Harry back. That's just retaliating and showing that he's a violent coward. Instead, Perry takes the second swing Harry was about to throw at him and pulls him into a headlock, just as a warning, as if to say, don't go there, don't mess with me, I have the ability to defend myself, but I won't be unnecessarily violent.
You sissy bitch!
Stop!
And then he crosses Harry's line right back, verbally this time. He gets under his skin and reminds him that he lied to the girl he was trying to impress, which might also be some jealousy, but again, we're saving that for later.
Don't bother asking Harmony out on your date. She wasn't very happy to find out that you're a liar, that you're not a detective, that you lied.
And then, as a cherry on top, just to drive home the idea that he's not to be disrespected like that, he makes Harry pick up his sunglasses and give them back to him.
You told her?
Pick those up. Pick them up.
Just, mwah, perfect. Number 5, the interrogation scene. Okay, this is probably the best one. It's just absolutely perfect, and it's hilarious. So, Harry and Perry get caught by the main bad guy and his thugs. They pat them both down and remove their weapons. Then they start torturing and interrogating Harry. Obviously, Perry isn't having any of that, so what does he do? He uses their internalized homophobia against them to save the day. This specific thug that's torturing Harry previously called Perry the, Spanish version of the F slur. Yeah, so Perry knows he's homophobic. He also knows, along with most queer people, what being homophobic actually means. Most homophobes are actually queer people themselves who are violent towards others because of their own self-hate and repression. Perry is fully familiar with assholes like this, so he leverages it against him.
If you're not gay, just say so.
Fuck you, maricon!
Harry, look at him. He can't even say it.
Why can't you just say
I
it?
can't wait to have you as a patient.
Bet you can't.
I can't believe
Because this is what you want right here.
Shut up!
Take a look. Take a look. You want some of this right here? Look at this, huh? How about some of this?
Shut
Want some of this?
It's just so fucking perfect, okay? I don't know what to tell you guys. He uses a homophobe's repressed homophobia against him and shot him with his dick gun. He literally slays. Also, it's revealed that he was able to have that gun because when the thug went in to remove his weapons, Perry pretended to be excited and it scared the thug so much that he didn't check there and didn't notice the gun.
No. Fucking maricon.
Perry even says that to Harry later.
Homophobes never check there.
And that's the reveal of why he actually calls it his faggot gun, like he said in the beginning. And then, as a final point to that scene, we get Harry being a bit of an asshole to Perry about this, implying that what Perry was doing was kind of degrading. But then, of course, it's Harry again who looks stupid for making the dumb
Thank God you had a gun in there for a second. I thought it was like a gay thing, like somehow you guys could do that. Sorry.
Are you okay?
Oh, it's just so good! Number 6, the fact that he didn't die. Okay, I gotta admit, I was scared there for a second towards the end of the movie when Perry got, you know, shot. Because if you know queer people in movies, you know that we just can't catch a fucking break. More on that in a second. But Perry does end up surviving, and because of the whole joke of this movie breaking the fourth wall the whole time to point out the absurdity of the Hollywood industry, Harry makes a joke about this.
But the point is, in this case, this time, it really happened. Perry, like, lived, and yeah, it's a dumb movie thing, but, you know, what do you want me to do, lie about it?
But what he's failed to mention here is the fact that it's going against a completely different trope. Have you ever heard of the bury your gays trope? This is a historic trope in queer stories that dates back to the Hays Code, this old Hollywood rule that stated if there was any sexuality shown other than between a husband and wife, man and woman, it had to have negative consequences. This usually meant that all the queer characters suffered and or died. This even continued far beyond when that code was dropped, moving into queer cinema in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, even today sometimes, but especially back then. All the stories involving queer or gay characters had to involve them suffering or dying at some point. There were very few, if any, stories about gay, lesbian, or trans people that were happy and alive, which is another reason that Gay Perry is so amazing. Because his character wasn't originally gay, he got to live his life and be happy. Perry Van Streit is a middle-aged, successful, respected queer man who was able to live his life happily and survive to the end of his movie. A huge contrast to the tortured queer characters who die young, tragically, like in other movies made around this time. So, yeah, they claim to have gone with a tired trope when in reality they were subverting an even worse trope when they kept Perry alive at the end. And I love that. Number 7, the end scene. After Harry, Perry, and Harmony became good friends at the end of the film, they finally attend Harmony's sister's funeral. And there's this excellent scene at the end that RDJ points out when he's narrating. So basically, for context, Harmony's father raped and sexually abused her younger sister during their childhood, which set off the events of the film and drove the younger sister to suicide. And for more context, Perry revealed just earlier in the movie that he also had an abusive father, not to that extent, but severely physically abusive.
Well, he used to beat me in Morse code, so it's possible, but he never actually said the words.
And like I said, he became pretty good friends with Harmony throughout the film.
Perry.
Where the hell did you come from?
He got away.
I know, it's okay. You did good.
I couldn't shoot him, Perry.
You did fine. You did fine. We gotta go now.
So for one of the last scenes of the movie, he basically pulls up to Harmony's dad's room and puts him in his goddamn place.
If I could get out of this bed.
Yeah? Well, you can't.
You bastard. Oh, man, that can't defend himself. Big, tough guy.
Yeah, that's right. Big, tough guy.
Now, if Perry's character had been straight, this scene would have had so much different implications. Because there's this thing that happens where if a straight men are interested in women, they try defending the women and fighting for them and sticking up for them, pretending to respect them, but really they just want to shoot their shot. A sort of performative feminism or like a weird possessive thing. Now, I'm not saying it's bad for men to defend women, but sometimes in movies it can be shitty, like they're fighting our battles for us. Lots of movies depict women as incapable or defenseless and uplift the white straight men, depicting them as the good guys or the heroes all the time when really it's not even their fight to fight. But Gay Perry isn't a straight man, and he's not trying to get with Harmony. It's his fight too. He felt this pain as well. He's defending Harmony, her sister, and himself against their abusive fathers and a society that's determined to peg them as weak and defenseless. Of course, white straight men can be victims too. I'm not saying they're not. And of course they can defend women without being shitty about it. And this scene could have been pulled off with a straight man as well. I'm just saying that it hit a little bit harder with a queer character. Because gay men are impressed as well, differently than women, of course, but society treats us both pretty terribly. And this scene felt like it just had that special kind of solidarity that comes with one oppressed person standing up for another. See, we wouldn't have gotten all that out of this moment if it hadn't been for Val Kilmer insisting he be gay for RDJ in this, and I love it. Number 8, the relationship. Okay, I saved this one for last because it's gonna be a long one. Buckle up. So, okay, Harry and Perry. You thought this was gonna be a single character analysis this time instead of a ship video. Well, you were wrong. This time I'm not actually trying to prove anything because it's canon confirmed. You heard that right. Val Kilmer told me himself, and I'm not joking. In the same article that he confirmed Iceman was gay, he also confirmed that Harry and Perry were an actual relationship. Well, sort of. Let me just show you. And would he be reprising the gay role, I wonder? I certainly would. I don't know how I'd feel about having an actual relationship, separate from Robert. I think it's got to be Robert or no one. It's gotta be in my contract. Damn, I say that kiss must have been pretty good. You know, the only other guy I've kissed was Colin Farrell, and Robert was better. Okay, first of all, Val, honey, do you have something you want to share with the class? And second of all, there it is, folks. He said it himself that he'd only want his character to have a relationship with RDJ's character, which changes the story a little bit if you look at the movie again, but with that same context. Let's back it up to the beginning. First of all, this is literally an amazing way to meet the future love of your life.
You all right?
Yeah. Oh, thanks, bro. One of these days I'm actually gonna learn how to fight.
Second of all, these two have a legendary dynamic that I believe has some pining hidden underneath it. Their whole relationship is just built on them insulting each other because they have to endure sticking together. Harry needs Perry to keep him in the Hollywood business so he doesn't have to go to jail, which means taking detective lessons. And Perry was basically just assigned to Harry to learn about his job. So they're kind of stuck with each other whether they like it or not. But they're both hiding something from the other because Harry, of course, isn't actually an actor. He's a thief who went to an audition to hide from the cops. And Perry knows the reason they're assigning Harry to him is because of a bunch of Hollywood nonsense, and they don't really want Harry. So, because of this, these two are basically stuck together in the worst situations and start off by literally hating each other's company. And their dynamic is really interesting and fun to watch because Perry basically bullies Harry because he hinders the work the entire time. But Harry's actually able to keep up sometimes and holds his own against the bickering.
Do you have to smoke?
You want me to put it out when we get near the...
Yeah, as soon as you find a large brown clump of shrubs, just throw it in there.
Is she dead?
No, she's just resting her eyes for a minute. Of course she's fucking dead. Her neck's broken.
This towel is wet.
The towel is for the seat.
This towel was for your shoes, and then you handed it to me for my face. This towel is wet. Can I use it?
This is dirty. No.
Can I dry the hat?
No, stop.
That it?
No. That's the other corpse from the last guy who stayed here. Fuck off.
Their whole banter just feels charged and more playful than rival-like. And with the amount of times Perry calls Harry an idiot, it crosses from annoyed colleague to possibly crush territory.
Jesus. Look up idiot in the dictionary. You know what you'll find?
Picture me?
No. The definition of the word idiot, which you fucking are.
Just sleepy.
What? Fuckhead? Badly's an adverb. Who taught you grammar? Get out. Vanish.
I'll give you a buzz.
Die.
That's all right. You don't need to apologize.
Blow me. You forgot this.
I was setting you up, dummy. This is real life.
Think, dummy. A 911 call from your hotel room. All of a sudden, there's a corpse outside. Bad idea. Speaking of bad ideas, what's this shit about you taking on your own case? Of all the dipshit things to do.
That's where their dynamic starts. Then things start heating up, and we get to see some real feelings from Perry for once, instead of just his suave front. Aside from the breakdown at the lake, of course, but this is different because that one was in complete anger and panic, and this is feelings because he actually cares about someone. Anyway, the people who have him hired as a consultant have instructed him to take on this novice actor and train him so that they'll think he's a candidate for a part in a film. But now there's some bigger people involved in this detective case, and Perry knows it's about to get dangerous because of all his experience with these things. So he just completely goes back on his agreement to the studio and tells Harry what he's not supposed to tell him, that he's actually been lying to him and using him, just so Harry can get out of danger.
It's getting way too scary, man. You gotta bail. You gotta get on a flight out of here today.
I'm gonna get my screen test Tuesday. I'll go Wednesday.
That doesn't matter.
I can go Wednesday.
You're not getting the part.
Fuck off. Don't be a schmuck.
No,
I know.
You're not going to get the part, Harry. It's not a long shot. Harry, you're not listening to me. You're not going to get... Harry! Harry!
What?
You're not going to get the part, okay?
Pushing him away to keep him safe. Now, that by itself shows that he cares about Harry, but there's something more. Not only is he pushing away Harry from the case, he's also pushing Harry away from himself. He starts telling Harry that he has no chance with the girl he's chasing.
Don't bother asking Harmony out on your date. She wasn't very happy to find out that you're a liar, that you're not a detective, that you lied.
Jealous much? And then he says the entire reason he's been with Harry this whole time is only because of his job.
You know what? I am an idiot because I thought that we were friends.
No, we're not friends.
I was in trouble when you were there for me.
No, I was there protecting. I was there. Stop speaking. I was there protecting my employer, Dabney. Hello. He pays me to insulate him from corpses.
And that they have no deeper connection and that he's not a good person.
I'm not a nice man, Harry.
Which is just extremely personal and feels a lot like someone pushing someone away because of romantic feelings. And he knows that they're both going to get hurt. And then he kind of lets it slip that he doesn't want anything to happen to Harry.
Go home before something bad happens to you.
What, are you threatening me?
No, moron.
What?
Go home before the bad guys do something bad to you.
The bad guy's right, I get it right. Fine.
Val is a fucking master at gay pining. I mean, come on. This and everything going on between him and Tom Cruise and Top Gun. I mean, Jesus Christ. What's that? Anyway, what's next? Yes. Harry comes back because he's found some major plot points, and Perry just keeps on protecting him, which I know goes deeper than just his job. Plus, there's this line.
In the meantime, back off. Before you get me and Harry killed.
And then they basically like work together for the rest of the movie. And they keep up that banter attitude, except now Harry isn't actually a hindrance and they're willingly working together. And they've completely crossed that line from annoyed rivalry to flirting. I mean, look.
I'll tell you. Oh my God.
Oh. Plus he was in that piece of shit movie. Where did you go from here?
Shut up, I'm thinking.
Okay. Oh, by the way, this thing, single gayest thing you've ever done.
Also, there's a part where they get caught, and Perry is trying to throw the thugs off their trail, and pretends they're a couple once more, which is awesome.
Gentlemen.
Hi, we are so incredibly lost.
Mr. Van Shrike. Hello.
This is the only time he used a gay voice for the movie, but it's for a part where he's trying to put up a front and a facade, so it doesn't count, it's fine. And, in case you were wondering, he fucking nailed it. Anyway, this all leads up to the scene towards the end where Perry survives and they're together at the hospital. After sparing Harry from getting thrown in jail using his private eye consultant powers, Perry finally finds out that Harry was lying to him the whole time and never was an actor. He was just a thief. But instead of being angry and dropping him, Perry decides he wants to protect him, and we get this fucking scene.
You should have told me you arrested 5 times. Should be pissed. Harry, don't steal any more shit. You're not a punk.
Tell me he wasn't going in for another kiss there. Just tell me. Let's play that again. Watch. Jesus fucking Christ, Val, you're killing me here. You're killing me dead. Also, the fact that they go gay spotting together after this, I mean, dude, guy, my bro, come on.
You bet I'll turn around.
You like that, huh?
I know, I saw him in the commissary twice. What is he, like 6'4"? He doesn't know he's gay, look how he walks.
Like, dude, that's our culture. That's what brings the gays together. It's the gaydar. You're way too good at this, Val. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. You might be wondering, does Harry actually love Perry back? Well, I'd say yes. He just takes a little longer than Perry does to realize it. He's in denial for a while, but I believe that throughout this whole movie, Harry is kind of having a bisexual crisis. And I swear, you guys, I'm not just projecting this time. Harry is legitimately going through it. Like, watch.
I sent her home believing A, we'd meet tomorrow to go over her case, and B, I wasn't actually gay. Do not ask me how I did B. The case. Harry Lockhart, L-A-P-I. We got it. What do you think, I'm stupid?
I think you wouldn't know where to feed yourself if you didn't flap your mouth so much. Yes, I think you're stupid.
Harry, don't listen to a word he says, all right? We're getting somewhere, Harry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna call you tomorrow. I'm gonna go back to work.
Good.
And it's not just bisexuality in general. He really does care about Perry, too.
Harry? Harry?
Hey, Perry, I shot a guy. I never did that before.
Harry?
I told you Harry kissed Perry back at one point, right? Well, he did. This is at the end, when they both get shot. Harry attempts to do CPR. Now, I'm no expert on resuscitation, but I do know that the only important part is to do the chest compressions. That's how you keep them alive. It's basically the crucial element of CPR. So when Harry omits this when he's trying to save his friend, either it's because he really is that stupid or other reasons.
Harry, don't! Harry, let's roll. Come on. Breathe.
I'm calling this a kiss, okay? Leave me alone, it counts, okay? The movie is called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Oh, and fun fact, okay, if we include this scene in here as a kiss, there are more gay kisses in this movie than straight ones, and I think that's just beautiful. Anyway, Harry and Perry. Them being in love actually ties really well into Harry's romantic subplot. He spends most of the movie chasing after his high school crush, trying to prove himself to her, wondering if he's worthy of her or not, when at the end he finally realizes that a relationship with her isn't what he wants. It's just self-worth out of his own life. Dating a girl he's deemed the prize isn't gonna get him that. It's getting a better life for himself. He realizes this when Harmony tells him that she slept with his friend and went back on her promise to him. He kicks her out, like, immediately. It's actually kind of funny, because Harry is realizing that he doesn't actually want her, per se. He's just conflicted.
I have a little confession to make.
My best friend? God, you said you're just...
It's a really refreshing finish, by the way, to a comedy buddy movie. For once, the main underdog character doesn't get the girl, because neither of them really need that, especially not Harmony. It's them developing their relationship and their characters to the point where they realize they don't even need each other. Instead, our underdog main character actually ends up with the character that he had real chemistry in a relationship with. That's right. I'm implying that, no, I'm not even implying, I'm stating that they got together in the end. I told you guys, Val Kilmer freaking said it. He said, a relationship with Robert's character or nothing. And this ending scene here, last scene of the movie, has some implications. I'm just gonna say that.
I work for Perry now.
And stop narrating.
Arthur.
That's it. Please stay for the end credits. If you're wondering who the best boy is, it's someone's nephew. Don't forget to validate your parking. And for all of you good people in the Midwest, sorry we said fuck so much. Say goodnight.
Thanks again.
Now go. Vanish.
I mean, I'm not saying that Val wasn't going in for another little kiss here, but I'm not saying it.
Thanks again.
Also, everything they're doing here just screams they're a couple. Layer this scene with the fact that Val Kilmer confirmed he'd want those characters in a relationship, and the significance of Harry moving on from Harmony, and bam! You've got yourself a stupid gay action movie fan's dream come true. An action comedy buddy detective movie where the two male leads with real chemistry actually do end up together. Now, one more thing before we leave this section, for if you're still doubting that Val Kilmer's character was secretly in love with RDJ's character. I genuinely think that Val played it that way because he's a skilled and professionally trained actor. One of the most important things we actors learn in school is that in order to make a scene compelling and a performance believable, you have to raise the stakes. Make it personal for you and for the character. The character has to have some serious emotional connection in the scenes they're in, with something real they could lose at any moment, or else it isn't very interesting to the audience. The stakes are just low. Playing Perry as being in love with Harry is an absolutely genius way to raise the stakes and personalize it for his character. Because Perry's protecting Harry because it's his job to, and he's pushing him away from danger because he's being nice. Doesn't have nearly the same emotional impact as he's doing it because he's in love with him. Now, it doesn't have to be directed that way, it doesn't even have to be interpreted that way, but if it's in the performance, it just adds that extra something that makes their scenes together more meaningful to watch. And it makes the queer character even more frickin' relatable. That's it for the reasons why the queer rep in KKBB is extremely respectful. Val Kilmer not only insisted that his character be queer, but he made him likable and relatable, powerful and prideful and real and emotional. Not only is Perry Van Schreidt a real human character played in a respectful way, but also an incredibly cool icon who makes awesome sarcastic comments and shoots homophobes, and survives to the end of his story to live his life happily instead of being tortured by society. And he even added to the story and made it more meaningful by implying a relationship with the main character, taking the movie from good to spectacular. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is an iconic and unabashedly queer movie. Val Kilmer and Shane Black might not have known what they were doing when they made this, but I think it's incredibly cool regardless. Because it's in my genre, action and comedy with queer characters. I know I shouldn't be picky, but it's just not fair sometimes that most of the only good queer rep is in romance movies, which I rather dislike no matter how queer the relationships are in them. It's like it's a movie made for some little gay action film nerd like me, and I just love it. Anyway, you guys can leave, but I'm gonna make one little closing remark here about why I think Val Kilmer did this. It could be because he really is part of the queer community, perhaps bisexual or pansexual, and wanted a chance in a movie to explore that. But actors' sexualities are really none of my business at all, and I believe that an actor can play a character of any sexuality other than their own, as long as they're respectful about it. The reasons I think Val is so adamantly demanded to make his character gay was for two reasons. First, because he knew how much it would improve the story, take it from basically any other buddy comedy detective movie into something so much more meaningful. I mean, he said it himself, we gotta get a little color in there, we gotta juice it up a little. He said that. The second reason, I think, is because he's a good actor. The nature of an actor is wanting to explore what it's like to be someone who isn't yourself. It's fun to step in the shoes of someone of a different background or sexuality, and I genuinely think Val Kilmer was just having fun with this. Either way, it made for a great movie, but it's sad that it didn't get a sequel like Val suggested in his interview. But that brings me back to one last thing. In this, once again, infamous article that I found, The Gift That Keeps On Giving, Val says this: I'm sure there'll be a lot of pirate movies now that Pirates of the Caribbean was so great and Master and Commander. We'll be fooled again. I hope, he concludes with a smirk, there'll be a lot of gay detectives movies now. Unfortunately, that did not happen back in the early 2000s. But guess what's happening now? That's right, Glass Onion, Knives Out, and they're continuing the series. The gay detectives are making a comeback. Val Kilmer, wherever you are, I hope you're just as excited as we are about the fact that we're finally getting the gay detective content we love and deserve. I just hope all you fellow gays out there remember that Harry Lockhart and Perry Van Schreidt walked so that Benoit and Philip Blanc could run. Alright, that's it for the video. Thank you all for enduring this. I hope you have an absolutely lovely day. And remember, you are valid.